and beyond. And that can be one and only thing. You are tuned into a shitless flip chat. I'm tense because I just told you. What's up, Bryan? Yes. Yeah, this is kind of interesting because as I was on my way up here, I was like, yo, this is his big night, right? He's been lambasting, as he says, dumb Kevin for many months. I mean, ever since he took the 15 votes to become speaker. And I thought, like, this would I just thought he would be here prepared, ready to go, have his notes in front of him and ready to just like attack this whole situation. And he's not here. It's crazy.
Well, he's trying to beat out the outgoing traffic of the Commanders because the Commanders right now are getting their ass handed to them.
It's a bunch of sad, like, well, Poy's face is just there from the Chicago Bears, but like, yeah, I know I don't really watch football, but I mean, it's the king sport. I mean, it's always talked about. So I mean, I know things about it. You know what I know? The Bears are bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
And they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
And damn, there goes. Well, see, don't take my picks. This is why we didn't do touchdown takes, because if anybody was betting on them, yeah, if you have gambling in your state or wherever you're listening to this, yeah, I probably steered you wrong. I said that they were going to go 6-0. Yeah, they might not score 6 points tonight. So yeah, that's troubling. Well, I never want to see this team do bad.
Well, I know this Sunday you're going to be really focused though. The rematch, the anticipated.
Oh my, yes. I mean, first of all, it hasn't been really good for my beloved Arsenal. We got spanked in Champions League. I mean, it was 2-1, but it was just, yeah, that team, they were ready to go. I guess it's at Lens, I believe. I forgot the Polish team that decided to come in and whoop our ass. But yeah, no, it wasn't. It hasn't been good. Yeah, it hasn't been good. Nationals obviously didn't make any playoffs. Baseball season's over for every team that didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, sports is sporting, but I mean, we got a packed show obviously tonight.
It's all about Kevin.
It's all about Kevin for the most part, but we do have a guest as well too.
Yeah,
Manuel will be with us, so that's exciting. Yeah, I mean, but yes, this show eventually, once he gets here, is going to be strictly about Kevin McCarthy. Losing
his butt kicked.
Yeah, he lost too. I don't want to. Obviously, I don't want to go too deep into it yet until he gets here, because he has his big thing that we can't. He'll wake us up in the morning with. Let you see behind the curtains, of what he thinks.
Kevin, it's 5:30.
It's 5:30. What the hell are you telling me about this for? Yeah, no, but I mean, outside of that, yeah, the government is. I get everybody hates the government. I understand.
No,
that,
they hate the people in the government. That means the knuckleheads.
Yes,
those knuckleheads.
Yes,
are fucking up everything. And I'm reminded of Charlemagne the God says, like, when are those fools going to realize that these people voted for you to hear their, to do it for them? You're not doing it for you. This is not about you. And that's what most of these people are. They're doing it because of them and that stupid parties they represent.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end, isn't it? I mean, I guess the way modern politics works is it is kind of for them, because I think you run for office, and I mean, I'm generalizing here, but I think you run for office, and as soon as you're elected, it almost seems that a lot of focus just goes into fundraising to run again. And it almost seems to be that cycle of like, hey, I've been elected. All right, we'll get to governing and whatever I promised, but it seems to jump right back into like fundraising and like how do you stay in power. So people, I mean, term limits might be a good thing.
Yes.
There's a lot of recommendations for our beloved small d democracy here. And I don't know, maybe eventually they'll get taken into consideration. I mean, I see why I am not cynical towards government because I think, it serves a purpose. Like even to this, like in your local government, and making sure your trash gets picked up. Like people, y'all ready to get rid of that? Not me. But yeah, I see how folks become so cynical, and they especially like what we just witnessed over the last, I guess, what is it, 267 days or however many days it's been. He was speaker. Yeah, I can see where you can look to that and be like, man, what's the purpose, right? And then I think when that happens, though, that's where we get down that slippery slope of like people giving up on the system, and then the system will eventually collapse in itself. And I mean, something will birth from it, but I don't know what that is. And also, too, I think there's people in this country, there are, like we've said many times on this show, they seem to be ready for the strongman leader to guide them and solve all their problems. Because you know what that absolves them from? Having to think about those problems and how they can solve themselves. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Exactly. That's what it comes down to. I mean, you got to wake up every day and,
Yeah. Do you have a word? Do you have a word?
I have to have 2 words, or are you?
I got a word.
So you'll do this.
I'll do it with you.
You'll do the second part then. Yeah. All right. So I guess and you have to hit the sit back if I'm going to do the first part, and then you'll do the last word. Or do you want me to?
Well, okay. Let's do it before he
shows up and ruins this. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. He ruins his own show.
All right. Grab some
gavels.
This is Omega 3 time. You're listening to the best show, the only show.
Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Yes.
Sweeps.
Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I am Chip. With me, this guy. Who are you, Des?
You just told him. You're in now.
I'm here. I wasn't, but now I am.
Yeah, the magic of radio.
That's how radio works.
Yeah, it's true.
It's magic.
Yeah, it is magic.
Nobody understands how it works.
No.
In fact, I think even Marconi had no idea how it works. He's like, I think if I put this thing in some metal, I can collect that sound later. And he was right.
He's right.
Turns out.
Crazy and freaking.
It's so wild stuff. Like
insane.
The more you learn about physics, the more insane it sounds. The story. I don't know if you heard this week about the antimatter. It weighs the same, or it's affected by gravity the same way as regular matter.
Oh God.
Yeah. So everybody thought that maybe the reason we can't see antimatter is because gravity pushes it instead of clumps it. But no, it falls the same way that everything else does. So now it's just Einstein was right again, and everything's more confusing.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what happens with the effort of humans to learn more. It gets more confused.
We just confuse ourselves more.
Yeah, the more we learn.
Speaking of confused people.
Oh God, here we are.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. This segment is called Dumb Kevin is Out. Now, when this happened this week, or this was coming, right? We could see this coming. I've spent all week going back through our old episodes listening for moments where I did predict this thing.
Oh God. Okay.
And there are a lot of them. A lot where I was like, I know what's going to happen. This is going to happen. And dumb Kevin's going to lose his job. And most of those instances, I asked you, do you think dumb Kevin survives this? And you go, yeah.
I thought he would survive. Yes.
Yeah. But he did not.
There's one reason he didn't survive.
Apparently it's the Dems.
I mean, but but it's not the way he says it. It's that you decided to come out on TV, attack, like they were the only ones who could save you.
Yeah, but
you could, and if he wanted it, and I think they did a great story in the Atlantic today about like he wanted this to ride the wave for as long as he could, and I don't think he really like. I feel he's like I did it. I was speaker. I got to show up. People cared about me, and that he seemed very vain from some of the quotes I've read.
The press conference seemed like that. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but to put too fine a point on it, he wanted to make sure that he wasn't Eric Cantor.
Yes.
Remember that the three of them on the cover of that book,
yeah,
right? That they wrote this book, The Young Guns. It's Cantor, Ryan, and McCarthy, and two of them got to be speaker, and Eric Cantor got primary. Yeah. So he wanted to be like Paul Ryan, I guess. I don't know.
Paul Ryan likes policy.
Yeah, well, McCarthy maybe liked policy a long time ago, but
I'm out defending Paul Ryan. I hate this.
I know.
I hate this.
Look at this timeline. A couple weeks ago, you're out here talking great about Reagan, and now you're out here defending Paul Ryan. Who are you?
I guess I was talking
about. You were like, at least Reagan knew that the Russians were the bad guys.
Simple. That was simple.
Fucking Reagan.
Christ.
All right, so let's go over this.
All right.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
In a short version of it, dumb Kevin made a deal to keep the government open until November 17th, which included letting the Dems vote on this. We did cover this last week when we were like, all they have to do is keep the government open, clean CR, he'd get a majority of the Republicans and all of the Democrats, and it would pass, which did come true.
Yeah.
But in the process of it, he had to try to wrangle this insane pile of people, which fluctuated in who was in the pile.
He kept giving him everything he kept offering something. He kept offering.
Yeah, but every time he'd offer him something that he didn't deliver, they didn't trust him.
Right.
And also, as we learned in the speaker debate, when they asked child fucker Matt Gaetz, allegedly, what could Kevin give you that would make you vote for him? And he goes, I've got everything I want. I don't care anymore. And now we got exactly to that point. So here we are. Alleged child fucker Matt Gaetz made the motion to vacate, which was predicted by a friend of the show, Matt Laszlo, who found it in a bathroom. Very Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Dumb Kevin made a motion to table the motion to vacate, which is House speak for let's not talk about this now. If you table something, it just sits there.
Yeah.
And you could bring it back up, but it's there. It's done. That vote failed.
And he said, it seemed like he said, well, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Once that happened,
once that happened, it's basically over. Yeah. You can't stop it. So then the motion to vacate, having not been tabled, proceeds, and the House votes on it. Every Democrat votes to vacate, and several Republicans. It didn't take many.
Not many,
but
6.
Yeah, but I think it was a total of 11 or something like that. Surprisingly, some other ones who were big McCarthy allies, like Nancy Mace or whatever her name is. Yeah, the Citadel lady. Who they were just, some of them were just straight up fed up with this. They're like, dumb Kevin sucks. He's not good at his job. We can't get any of our agenda passed. And instead of blaming that on the firebrands that are actually holding up their agenda, they blamed him. And for not reining them in, I guess. We talk on this show a lot about Pelosi and about her strength as a speaker.
Best one ever.
And what dumb Kevin could have learned the whole time he was watching Pelosi was how to keep your conference in alignment. which is money. But
yes,
everybody, it's like vote the way I say, or I don't give you the fundraising.
And I'm in when you're a skilled fundraiser, and Nancy Pelosi, you can wield that type.
You can do that. But people have been talking about how dumb Kevin has nobody to blame but himself because he allowed this one vote rule thing. But that's not actually why he has nobody to blame but himself. He has nobody to blame but himself because he was a lousy fundraiser and a lousy campaigner and left himself with that slim a majority in the House. If he'd have done a better job, if they'd have got away from Trump, they could have won like 15 or 20 more seats. They could have got their red wave. So it's not that nobody to blame but Kevin. It's nobody to blame but Trump. Trump caused the razor-thin majority. The razor-thin majority imploded on itself, and dumb Kevin is out.
Yeah.
So the Dems vote with the right-wing nut jobs to toss dumb Kevin.
Yeah, because again, they're like, future Speaker Hakeem went into the meeting and started playing the videos of like, again, he was like, this man could have continued to be speaker. Again, Matt Gaetz's comments, I forgot over, I don't know when he made them, but specifically around like, hey, either he's gonna still be speaker because the
Dems want him,
or he's not gonna be it.
Right,
and,
he's the Democrat speaker.
Yeah,
is what he said.
He says, yeah, and I think that is too much to bear. That
he was right though.
He was right. Yeah, he was.
Once again, the worst person you know.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Right.
That's why he put that in graphic up last week.
Yeah, like, but you're right about that. And future Speaker Jeffries like reminded every Democrat in the room that this guy calls you every name under the sun, and then he turns around and goes, "Come on, guys, don't you want governance?
What?
You haven't delivered governance, dumb Kevin. You don't deliver governance.
We got a bill that's running out again. There's no governance happening.
There's no governance, and like
good luck now.
Yeah, everything. Every bit of governance that has happened since the Republicans took control of the House happened because the Democrats decided to let it happen. Dumb Kevin's not providing governance.
No.
Dumb Kevin's not providing anything but like weird photo ops
tours.
And yeah,
he's
like,
available. If you need him to be available for the tour, and again, that's where it's like,
and like strange fake committees that don't ever turn up any evidence.
It's almost sick. Why I feel like he wanted to be like, again,
he wanted to play at being speaker.
Yeah,
he didn't want
like
to govern.
His gavel, like his little toy gavel he had out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost frustrating because he didn't even try again. He didn't even like go and
he didn't say like I'm gonna run and get my seat back. No,
that's crazy to me. Why did you do this?
You know who did? Nancy Pelosi. She got her seat back.
Yeah.
She didn't do it by just convincing a conference. She did it by winning an entire another election.
Yes.
She convinced the whole country.
He's a madman. I don't know what his deal is. Like, again, you literally did this to go and like, again, the article I was reading, he was just like telling the reporter, he was just like, who's Mark Leibovich, he was just like, yo, no one's gonna care about me after I'm speaker.
Yeah.
No one's gonna come and say hi. They were at like an ice cream shop.
Yeah, he said nobody's gonna laugh at my
jokes anymore. Yeah, and it's like,
right.
What? Oh my God, these are really the losers in the lunchroom.
So, but that's totally believable too, because as you sort of alluded to earlier, dumb Kevin doesn't seem to have any like political ideology.
Yeah.
Paul Ryan had like some ideology.
Yo, yeah.
It's confusing.
Confusing.
Did not seem like it mathed out.
I don't think it was going to work.
I don't think it was going to work for even what he wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
But like, at least he was steadfast in what he believed. And when things got sideways off of it, he was like, no, that's too much. I'm not going to do that. Dumb Kevin has just been like willing to toss himself around in the breeze like a leaf in November. And he's like, whatever they say is fine. I'll go along with it. I don't care. It's from Fresno. I mean, they don't have strong opinions. What are they?
Right?
Fresno State's ranked, by the way.
Oh,
you believe that?
What?
Yeah, I know. Ranked 25, ranked Fresno State. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that people probably didn't know until this thing happened, and that is a thing we say a lot on the show too, that we're living in uncharted times all the time.
Every time it's new. It's always new, the new day.
Is that after 9/11, we all got kind of nervous about like continuity of government for obvious reasons. All of a sudden, this thing that was unthinkable, so unthinkable that we hadn't even made plans for it.
Exactly.
Like our only plan was all of Congress goes to West Virginia to the Greenbrier.
Correct.
That was the whole plan.
Yeah.
There wasn't this, hey, what if some of them get killed? That was like, you know
Oof.
what? Good point. Ought to make a contingency
Someone
plan.
note that.
Somebody come up with a plan. So they did.
Yes.
And there is a secret list that nobody besides the speaker knows about of like 5 to 10 people who are in line to take the speaker's position on a pro tem basis should something happen to him.
Right.
And it was mostly envisioned in terms of like something catastrophic, not something political.
Yeah, like everything goes to shit, man. And
yeah, like he's on a plane with the vice president when it gets shot down and the president dies in a car accident or something. Like, you know, something like that, whatever. But so as you could imagine, in circles that I run with, there was a lot of prop betting on who was on this list, and everybody was trying to guess this out. Turns out the answer is one Patrick McHenry, who is from North Carolina, if anybody cared about that, who's a close ally of Dumb Kevin. He looks like a Patrick McHenry.
Yeah.
I don't know what's this thing about Republicans in bow ties, but they can't pull it off.
It's usually the Southerners, though.
He's from Charlotte. Yeah, that's kind of. It's almost in South Carolina.
Fine Southern gentlemen.
Yeah, right. So McHenry becomes Speaker Pro Tem, which basically means he just had to say, "This is over. We're going to recess." But he gets to use the gavel.
Yeah, that seems to be really important these days.
This gavel is really important.
Everybody likes the gavel.
Now everybody should remember also this is the John Boehner gavel.
Yeah, this is the gavel that Kevin was waving in the air when he won.
It was as a trophy.
It was crazy.
Remember, this is the gavel that Dumb Kevin said he was going to bang Nancy Pelosi with.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, no way in hell the Democrats could vote for her.
Too many entendres there to deal with, and then her husband got hit with a hammer. It's so bad.
Oh my God. About that. We talk about political violence. We're here.
We're already watching political violence take place, and Trump talking about it at rallies and people cheering it. He got hit in the head with a hammer. That old man got beat with a hammer, and the people cheered. They cheered. What timeline is this?
Alternate
Munich in 1930 something.
Yeah, 1850 America.
It's
Charles Sumner getting whacked with the cane.
Right? Yeah. Daniel Webster and fist fights.
Exactly. So, it might be the 1850s.
So speaking of violence in Congress, right? Patrick McHenry McSlams the gavel.
McSlam.
He got out of that session. He hit that thing so hard, and it looked like he was mad. He was visibly angry.
Yes.
But he's a short, tiny little man in a bow tie. So it's hard to take him seriously, even if he was saying angry things. So he just slams that thing. And he slammed it hard. You have small children.
Yes.
Or one anyway. Yes. I have various small children. When small children are mad, that is the go-to. It is slamming. It is throwing things down. It's the only direction they can throw. This happened
but an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, wham.
Yeah, and I was like, what is going on?
I hate you, Daddy. Wham. You know, and you're like, all right, go to bed, you know, whatever.
You're emotionally hijacked.
Yeah. So but they're like under 10.
Yeah.
Patrick McHenry is a grown-ass man, and he slammed that thing. Okay. And that's not the end of it. Because now they got to pick a new speaker.
Woo! Now, this should be fun.
There is a lot of debate about whether the Speaker Pro Tem has any authority at all, but to preside over picking a new speaker.
I thought that is all that. I thought that's how I understood that.
Well, so now we're not constitutional scholars here. We'll get Jamie Raskin on the show eventually, I'm sure. I think we're in his district, aren't we?
You definitely. I met
like
him.
This studio is in his district.
Definitely is in the district. I met him over the 4th of July parade in Tacoma Park.
Yeah, that's his like home.
That's his home space.
Okay, so, but the question is like, what role does Patrick McHenry have? Because statutorily, he is the speaker. Yeah. This list that creates a pro tem speaker, which doesn't exist in the Constitution, unlike the Senate pro tem. It says he has all the authorities of speaker, but the Constitution says that Congress without a speaker can't do anything. They have the first and only thing they can do is elect a speaker. And we don't know whether this is true now or not because we've never had this happen before.
And at this point where there are rules, it seems that we just make up some different ones. I mean, because the reason this man is ousted is because he decided to make up a rule.
Well, the Constitution says the House makes its own rules.
Yeah.
And he did.
He made a rule.
he made a rule to try to curry favor with a bunch of people who hate him.
Stupid rule.
It's very stupid. So
we might have still been voting though right now.
Right. We could be on Jeffrey's winning his 19th speakership election.
It could still be going on right now.
He could still be the most votes and not speaker. Okay. That brings us to a thing that we have addressed on this show several times. I went back and checked. And I have been saying this since, as far as I know, about November. Okay. When the Republicans were going to probably win control of the House back. You do not have to be a member of the House to be Speaker of the House. That's also never happened, but it is
it's within the rules.
Constitutionally required. Yeah. And I have been saying from the very, very beginning, we're laughing because they showed the Capitol on TV.
The Commanders
because my awful football team.
Commanders match is just zoomed in on the Capitol as we're speaking about this, and that was just that was just chef's kiss right there.
Okay, so it's a restored Capitol. Doesn't have any poop smeared on it.
Today.
So the rules don't say you have to be a member of the House. And I have said from the time that they took control that what they're going to do is make Trump the speaker, which puts him in line of succession. And then they're going to get their friends in the Secret Service, because I think a lot of them are ultra right-wing, Christo-nationalist, whatever, white supremacists, to either help or not stop somebody from murdering Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
The reckless speculation.
Thus installing Trump as president again. And every time I have said this, you and everybody I know, with the exception of my wife, has said to me, you're crazy. They all say it.
Yes.
You're crazy. And then within less than 24 hours of dumb Kevin getting put out,
a crazy person,
the
crazy person,
right wing,
crazy, more crazy,
Marjorie Taylor,
crazy, more crazies,
Hannity, all of Fox News, all of Newsmax, Alex Jones, they're all out there saying exactly this. They're saying make Trump speaker. And I want everybody to be really mindful of something. Every time you hear one of these MAGA idiots floating the idea of making Trump speaker, one, they definitely got it from listening to this show.
That's helpful. Oh my God. There we go. Great way to sell it.
I'm kidding. Second, you should regard that as a threat of political violence, because they don't mean to make him speaker so that he can do speaker things. Because if Trump was speaker, he would immediately gavel the House into recess and never return and just go about fundraising or whatever. But every time somebody floats the idea of Trump being speaker, what they are saying without saying it is they mean to do harm to the first two in line. It is an act of political violence to make Trump speaker.
And that's why it will never happen. It's not
How
happening.
many of the things that I have said will happen that you have said in we've been together doing this show for 2 years now?
Yeah.
How many of the things that I have said, this is some crazy shit, but I think it's going to happen, and you have said, not a chance. And then it turns out that it happens.
This one, though, there's a few variables that go into this. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible. Like, yes, obviously it's possible. But one, I don't think Donald Trump, even if there's no way you sell this job to him.
He doesn't have to do the job.
I feel that, but there's like his ego. This is not like for you, because you're talking logic. That man doesn't move with logic.
I'll sell it to him right now. You want to be able to get out from under these gag orders and say any fucking thing you want? Speech and debate clause. You're Speaker of the House. You can say anything you want, and you can hide behind that speech and debate clause immediately. 2, you want to be president again, and you don't want to deal with elections because you think they're all fake and rigged and bullshit, and you probably can't win them. Here's your path. All you got to do is put your hand on the book accept the job for about 5 minutes, and then let the crazies kill 2 people who you already hate.
He's saying now that the calamity is going, like, because that's what you're predicting there. That calamity for that second one there has now overcome the country, which you're like, he's not if something like that happens, he's not governed. There's no country anymore. It ends that day.
Constitutionally, he's in charge.
Whatever. Good luck for the people. First of all, this is also a losing battle for the Republican Party to win anything.
The Republican Party in ousting Kevin McCarthy essentially shot themselves in the head. They are not a party that can ever win a national election or govern ever again.
It's done.
Because they have we have been predicting that on this show that we're watching this party collapse and we don't know whether it's going to replace it.
Something has to at this point.
Some center right thing has to show up and exist. But right now, this current iteration of the Republican Party is so cannibalistic that it cannot operate.
Some people still want to win their districts, though.
But for what?
Like, I mean,
to come to Washington and do what?
They just want to, but they still want to win. They want to be empowered.
What?
To be empowered.
Their power over what? Matt Gaetz is in all functionality the only power in Congress right now, unless all of the Republicans who are left just go, fuck that guy, which they did yell at him in that several times, and just like decide to vote with the Democrats in some sort of weird unity government.
We know that there are a few moderates. There's not enough. There are a few moderates in there that will, and I forgot the name of it, what they call
it.
The problem solver caucus. Hey, it's got to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. First of all, I just don't.
Is that the new party, the problem solver party?
I don't know. It's not
They're just like trains run on time party.
I mean, people should be able to get behind some shit like that. You would think like the regular ass.
Except if it's trains running on time, Brian doesn't want.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah. No, he just wants people to pay for to get on.
That's the other thing. Charge the poor people to ride the train.
A vote still has to happen, though, right?
If Congress is going to do anything, and the vote has to happen before the 17th, or the government will shut down.
That's Ukraine
happening. Is about to run out of money.
I mean, first of all, there's no way that the government doesn't shut down on the 17th this time. How the hell? Like, there's a lot that needs to be done in not too much time that they have. And this is gonna be a hell of a.
I mean,
happy holidays.
At some point, speaking purely politically and not on a policy basis, at some point, Trump, if he wants to try to win an election, has to get the stink of government shutdown off of the Republican Party in enough time for people to forget about it. If the government's
not happening,
okay,
all right,
and you want this balding orange peel to think that he'll save that?
I think if Trump does have a bit of political acumen, and at some point, he's got good instincts for how to get people to vote for him, and at some point,
for attacking his base and saying they went too strong against with abortion. No,
he's gone the wrong.
Crazy.
He's gone the wrong way on some of this, but I think at some point, one of the masterful tricks of Donald Trump is that he can change position on an issue in an instant and convince everybody that votes for him that he always
had that position. He's not convincing him on abortion.
No, but
he's saying something.
He got the vaccine and then told everybody that they didn't have to get the vaccine, and they all looked at him and they're like, "Yeah, it's fine."
That one they let him live with. I don't think they're letting him live with the abortion one.
But he changes position so rapidly, and he's like the Mormon Church. He can just issue a new belief, and the followers go, "Yeah, that's how it's always been."
We were here before Native Americans.
5 minutes? Yeah, 5 minutes ago you said the opposite of that, and they go, "No, we didn't," and they just keep it moving.
So again, you want to bring in a guy who pretty much will cause more chaos.
I don't want to bring him.
I don't think it's
that's what, because this is what you're saying, because what I'm seeing is this. We will, like you said, GOP just shot themselves in the head.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're trying to fix it with something that full well does not fit. And again, nothing will work, because really their main objective is just to be in power, have the House for another year and a half or so, and again, not do shit.
And do nothing with it. I understand that the modern Republican Party has no interest in governing. But people kept making this case, like, if you want to get any bit of the conservative agenda passed, kicking Kevin out of the speakership is the worst way to do it, because now you have no speaker and nothing can pass.
When's the next time a bill might pass?
It's not. But what I'm saying
is
to you
happening
is,
in that house.
From a political perspective, The only way on God's green earth that you can convince the Republicans in Congress to stop fighting and pass a budget is if Trump tells them to do it. And the only reason Trump would tell them to do it is because he thinks it helps him win in November.
If he tells them to do it and there's no money for Ukraine, do you think Mitch McConnell still takes the bill in the Senate? Or Schumer and these guys, the Republic? No. So then we got, what do we have? There's nothing going to go on.
Yeah, but at least at that point, it's that procedural hurdle is over. Maybe the Senate passes something else and they try to conference it out. Maybe.
The madness. There's no way.
The other possibility is you build like a new small model Capitol, okay? And you put the Republicans in it, and you put cameras in there, and you let them broadcast, and you tell them that this is the real Capitol, and they all leave. And it's a quorum of who's in. The vote is of who's on the floor at the time.
Correct.
And then you just govern by, regular voting. And it's like when you take your kids to like Chuck E. Cheese and you're like, this is your area. You go, you do whatever you want in there. And they take it very seriously. I'm the captain of the ball pit or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt Gaetz can be captain of the balls. I'm sure he loves that title.
So gosh.
They can do that. Just distract him for a little while. Get him out of the chamber.
I hate to say this, there needs to be a super majority so fast at this point.
How?
I don't know. I don't know. Because at this, I don't know where the hell do we go from here.
Where do you find this supermajority? Because remember, and this is the other thing I really wanted to get to.
Maps don't make sense.
The reason that we're in this position now is because of the concerted effort by the Republicans, by the right wing, to draw these completely airtight maps.
Maps don't work.
Where there's no challenge whatsoever. And instead of the voters picking their reps, the reps are picking the voters. And furthermore, they have convinced these people of so many things that are so blatantly and obviously untrue that they can't be shook from it. You can show them that Kevin is not Speaker of the House anymore. You can show them that there is not a budget and the government is about to shut down, and they will tell you that it is because of what Nancy Pelosi's husband did or something. Who knows what they'll say, but none of it will make sense. None of it's on planet Earth. Their voters aren't on planet Earth. They're not responsible to anybody who's on planet Earth
soon, the way they're moving.
I mean, like, I hate that this is the same show we do every week, but we are facing this question in real time. What do we do? It's not just the people in Congress. It's not just Matt Gaetz and Marjorie and Hearn and all these guys, Jim Jordan. It is specifically their voters. What are we going to do with these people who live on another plane of reality, a different reality, a completely fake reality, but they're voting in our reality? They have successfully dismantled or crashed every part of the institution of these United States, line by line by line. And now they have ground the government to an intractable halt.
All right, here's how you fix this.
The barge.
Number one, and we've said this many times, you need term limits. You just had a person who died in office.
Yeah.
You pretty much have these folks in here coming left and right, and just makes no sense.
I'm not opposed to that, but how do we functionally get to that right now?
Someone literally, I don't know what it is. I don't know why the law hasn't been stated where I know they were able to change the term limit for the president.
It took a constitutional amendment.
Right.
Good luck passing one of them.
But that's what I'm saying. Because
I scream that day for day. Good luck.
So the only way to do it is like pretty much it's like the Democrats really realize that it's like they have to take power to the point where it's like this needs to change.
But that's insane. But what do we do between now and November? That's the problem.
Within the next 3 weeks, here's what you do. Ride this wave of incompetency to the point where it's like, okay, until they get there's an actual speaker there. Hopefully it'll be Jeffries, because honestly, it's like you guys want to actually work. You need a guy who can.
But they don't.
Work. Of course, no. The Republicans don't want to.
Right.
Work. That's the thing.
You got to convince that small, like, and the House is. I mean, you could. It'd be hard as hell there's a way that you should be able to
You
win.
let it get a lot worse, and then those 25 come over and make Jefferson caretaker speaker.
Let's continue on with this aspect. The next election, which is now within a year's time, besides in addition to the presidential one, is most of these people's in their district in the House and the Senate.
All of them in the House.
Yeah. So in all essence, it's like they have to realize the fact is like, look, you guys are on the verge of being out because what you're doing right now is fucking up everybody.
But their voters don't think
the voters.
But like what Santos's district, that's a Democrat flip, right? That's going to be one, right?
Yeah,
there's a few out there.
There's a few, but the fact remains that the majority of Republican voters in this country will continue to vote for this exact outcome.
Because of the fact is like they only see one fat man, and till that fat man is in jail, that's what they're not going to be.
But even if Trump goes to jail, they'll convince themselves of some other thing. Like this is
there's no, because the thing is there is a person who's brainwashing him, and it's him.
Yeah, but
the unfortunate thing is he's still out there.
Vivek seems like he's ready to step in too, right after.
And I hate to say this, Brian, but you're falling for the trick where you're applying linear thought to this, and you're making a very good case. You're talking about a group of people who think the earth is flat. So you can't, it doesn't matter
Not
how reasonable your case is.
Not all of them.
But or insert your metaphor here.
Yeah.
They are operating under a theory. They think Trump built hundreds of miles of wall. He didn't build any wall. They think Joe Biden is in a basement. He's not in a basement. They think JFK is coming back with his son to be the fucking vice president.
In addition to all that Fox News brainwashing bullshit.
Right.
There.
So just
isn't that's 32%, which is a lot. Right,
it's enough. It's enough to paralyze everything.
That's a lot.
And
where do we get that down to? How do we chip away at that?
Because of the way the districts are drawn, it can be so few and still have so much control. Because they're in these districts that are so airtight. So now you're asking a group of people who are on a different plane of reality to snap out of it, realize their mistake, be so horrified by their mistake that they vote an entire different system into place, fix all the gerrymandered districts, and swear off this kind of crazy for the rest of their lives and their children's lives in the space of 14 months.
That's not going to happen. What we got to focus in on 14 months is the choice between democracy, right? And I don't even want to.
We have a problem in this country with the way that our government is set up.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not changing anytime soon.
We have always assumed that people would operate in reality.
But
it
was set up for a bunch of white men that would always operate in
their own self-interest.
Yes, exactly. And wait, hold on.
But even in this case, it's in their self-interest to keep the government open. They don't want to do it.
It is, but the government is completely changed from those times now.
Yeah, it's not a tool of white supremacy.
Exactly.
It's less of a tool of white supremacy.
You can walk through the halls and be like, whoa, what shit?
All right, but what I'm saying here
let you in
is that Belgium went without a government for almost 2 years.
Right.
But because their parliamentary system works the way it does,
it
basically means they go steady as she goes.
Yeah.
No policy changes, but the government doesn't close.
Yeah.
We have a system where the Congress has to appropriate the money to run the government on a yearly basis. Or at least they have to appropriate the money periodically, whatever it is. They could do it for 10 years.
We could one day.
But the Constitution requires that the Congress passes the appropriations. That's how that goes. And the Supreme Court is hearing cases about destroying the administrative state, as we speak. So there is no backstop here. And that 32%, however small it is, whatever percentage it is, has successfully figured out how to torpedo the United States. They have stopped this country. Matt Gaetz and his Republicans have done what the Germans, the British, the French, everybody has failed to do in destroying this country. They have people of the Navajo have been trying to end the United States for 400 years. And none of them has succeeded until Matt Gaetz, hero of the native people of this country,
right,
as he sees it,
yeah,
successfully stopped the U.S. government in its tracks.
I don't think it's done yet because again, this country has overcome some crazy shit. And there's no way that I could sit here and come at it like almost from a defeatist standpoint, because we figured this shit out. I know Joe Biden.
Have faith in a thing that is gone.
I don't think it's gone, because again, there's still people in this country, right? There are still people in this country who I do think agree. Like, outside of the political apparatus, I think there are people who can come to agreement on certain things. I think a lot of folks, I think even that we're having the conversation, and it's not just us, that this conversation swept the nation. People are in the streets, that people have been in the streets for on both sides as well, too. Like,
everybody's on strike.
Yeah, everybody's on strike. These are things that are like, this is supposed to be a democracy, right? This is how this shit is supposed to move.
It's supposed to be messy.
And it's, God, for fuck's sake, messy right now. There's no way in hell I can say, all right, we're at the end of this shit. We might be at the end of something, but whatever it is in America, it's going to be the beginning of something else. And the shit might be treacherous. It seems pretty treacherous right now. It seems
pretty treacherous.
Right now, it seems pretty bad.
So my question to you, this is an honest question here, is like, is there a mechanism for this? Because the elections are either too far off or not far off enough, for this to be done.
I mean, 2020's election, I mean, it was razor thin, but it shit held.
No, I understand that. But what I'm asking here is, the world that we're in,
right?
The tribalist aspect of this is so powerful that people are watch two white people have a conversation with each other. They don't know each other. Watch them poke around the edges to figure out who's a safe. I like infrastructure. I like infrastructure too. Was there enough infrastructure? Well, there could be more. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Now should we have better infrastructure? Well, I think maybe we should just repair the things. But wouldn't it be nice if we had some more stable grid? Well, yeah, more stable grid, and you watch them poke around the edges of the most mundane shit to try to figure out if this person is Trump or not, because those are the two choices.
Yeah.
If somebody emerged, or a group of people emerged and said, guys, we got to stop this shit and restore our government, could that message get through without people getting defensive about what do you mean I got to cooperate with or they're going to take my guns away, or could it break through over this mountain of bullshit, to quote Jon Stewart, the bullshit mountain that is Fox News, the Russian disinformation, the Alex Joneses of the world? Is there a loud enough clarion call that shakes up the great middle of this country that goes, yo, this shit is whack. Stop. Get the trains on time, for God's sakes. Is there a voice? And how does it overcome Hannity?
I mean, I think you got to kind of leave this up to what happens next November. What
are we doing until then?
What are we doing until then? Good luck. Hold on for a fucking ride that it's going to be.
The government needs to operate.
The government, or
Canada's going to invade and shit.
Right.
It could be really bad. You have to go to Tim Hortons.
Look. I think the government will shut down. The pain from that, I do think eventually,
how long do you think it lasts?
What was that longest one? 30
45 days?
45 days on that one? I don't think you get longer than that, because then the people, that's when I say the people go to the streets, and that's when I think when people go to the streets, you're like, if you're an avid person who likes to go to your national park and shit is again, as we've seen before,
if you're in an airtight district where you can't lose, do you care if people go to the streets and your people aren't going to the streets? Or you tell them that those people in the streets are dangerous looters and they're going to take all your shit and they're black.
It'll be crazy when they're not, though. It'll be crazy if that's not the people who are out there, if the ones who are not, who are being affected by this are not that.
So when white rednecks go to the streets and demand their Medicare,
which could eat, that's not fun. Yo.
You'd think it would be happening now, for God's sakes, but it's not.
Hap is dying.
Yeah, but they're out here talking about it's because Nancy Pelosi gave him 5G with the shot.
Yeah, got mine up there.
Right. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
what happened today with the FEMA alert? That was today.
Oh, they said what? I know I seen that some people were.
What
Getting them,
actually happened was they tested the emergency broadcast system. No big deal. This,
yesterday.
all of us, yesterday.
Yeah.
All of us who are old enough remember this happening every day, and it does still happen every day at 2:30 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. It comes in. They
You've got small children, you know about this because you're up with them.
They spared the midday one. That doesn't happen anymore. It used to happen in the middle of the day.
Yeah. But this thing happened, right? And it was announced in advance. And instead of everybody going, all right, well, we're ready, a bunch of the internet and people I know fell for this. Communications are going to be disrupted. They're going to turn us into zombies. They're going to activate the 5G in your COVID shot.
There's a lack of like general community, as I've always said, in this country. And there's a community of loons. There's a decent amount of them. I just fail to
Some
believe.
of them are giving hand jobs in a theater. I mean, what?
Yes,
and they're in
true.
Congress.
Like,
what? How?
There have been loons before, though.
How do you Yeah, but they didn't have Twitter.
That's
How do you overcome this? You're not.
But then they're saying if you say that we're not going to overcome it, what people just going to lay down and just be like, all right, whatever.
No, some form of anarchy, like chaos and order, will emerge from this. Communities will reorganize themselves. The states will start doing things and dare the feds to stop them from doing it. The big states will organize economies that work around them, and they're supporting small states like small countries. There will be a country called New York. There will be a country called Los Angeles.
The money is going to dictate this, and I feel like the money is always going to be what steps in.
If the government is shut down,
right?
Okay, and California passes a law that says they're going to, take over the border or take over something that is explicitly federal,
right?
And the feds are shut, they can't stop it. They can't even get into court to stop it.
But then we're saying that Gavin Newsom is just like some type of like
megalomaniac.
I mean,
is he not?
I mean, look, all right.
He gives me a run for my money.
But I don't believe that they're gonna, because again, the expectation of all of this is that the government starts back up. The federal, and you're saying that the federal government is gonna go down for how long? It's gonna
be down so long that people are gonna figure out a way to get along without it. And if it goes down long enough, it won't restart.
What would that be? 6 months? No way.
Yeah, something like that.
There's no way in hell it goes down.
Muriel will become mayor of New Columbia, which will be all of Northern Virginia and Maryland. And we'll reorganize as a new little country.
No way in hell. There's no.
What else will happen? What else is the possibility?
Parts of the government still have to run, no matter what, and that's it.
People don't get paid. Eventually, they're going to leave and get a job at Wendy's.
Eventually.
I used to be an analyst at the Pentagon, but I've been forced to work for 6 months without getting paid, and my family was hungry. So now I'm flipping burgers, making $20 an hour.
No way in hell. There's a big election.
Economies spring out of thin air.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do.
Look at confined places, jails, boarding schools, anything like that, right? Organized crime. Maybe that's the solution. Well, maybe the mafia comes in and runs the country for a while.
The mafia already ran the country for 4 years.
They were pretty. Let's get the real mafia to run things. Those guys are pretty good.
They had honor.
Yeah, right. Like a code.
Exactly.
I saw Joe Pesci get whacked.
Exactly. Not around the women and children.
Yeah, right. Maybe El Chapo runs the place.
I don't.
Those Venezuelan guys built a pool and a daycare in their jail. I mean, organized crime is organized. Matt Gaetz is not.
That is fair. I don't think we're at a point that they'll look back at and be like, whoa.
This is going to be written into the history books the way the Civil War is written about now. That this is as close as we came to dissolution. This is what's going to happen. When we are in the refugee camps.
Yeah.
So we're going to the climate refugee camps. We are going to be telling stories about surviving the anarchy times of the 2020s.
And then there'll be an opportunity once everything is really hit the fan. There'll be an opportunity
to reorganize this,
to reconstruct it.
Oh yeah,
it'll be one more. We'll have
maybe
one.
We'll get it.
We'll have one now.
Get some reparations.
This is the final chance. This will be the final chance in this country. There's no way, because again, This is a very young country.
You keep saying that.
And as we know about history, this shit, like, what it is today was not going to be what it is tomorrow.
I really hope that it's better than what it is today, because
today
sucks.
is pretty bad.
This is bad. And
Yeah.
I here you are the optimist
I know.
this time.
Yeah. Forever the optimist, because it's like, what, like, I gotta bet on that everybody is just fucking crazy. Like everybody's, and I'm not ready to bet on you. Look, I got hope in y'all. I know that Fox News has done a number on you. I seen those email threads in 2006 and 7, and I was like, this doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
People really reading
Why
this
are you
shit?
following?
What the fuck is going on? But so
they're
now
turning
we
the
got-
frogs gay. I mean,
yeah. Wait till they turn the AI gay. Wait till they're screaming about that.
it's the gay
Putting the
agenda.
vaccine into salad dressing.
All right. Here's what we need to do.
Christ, that was a long one.
That's a long segment. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about somebody else who doesn't have a chance. And we'll see if our guest shows up or not. He might not. Is he there? No, he's probably not going to make it. He was moving today. We'll reschedule him. He's from Connecticut anyway. It's soon to be part of New York.
What did you call it of New York?
The country?
New country.
Yeah, it'll be a new country, little tiny country called New York.
God,
well, but half of Connecticut will be in New York. The other half will be in the new country of Boston. Those two can't get together.
What does trade look like? New trade rules?
Well, yeah. But they don't talk to each other during football season or baseball season or basketball season or hockey season. You know what? Build the wall. Right in the middle of Connecticut. That's the wall. The new wall.
New
England is off here and New York is over here, and never the twain shall meet again.
There we go.
Yeah. Build the wall.
All right.
In Danbury.
Jesus. Okay.
All right. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Me and you will. DBCT.
Is this what you want?
I'm on a come up, and I'ma be the boss of Connecticut. Course I'm repping it, I'm a force to be reckoned with. Y'all dudes is all soft, y'all delicate. Y'all on some show off, lost your weapon shit. I'm on some bust off, get the stepping quick. No prints to dust off, no clues to evidence. Believe me though, if this is the case, I'ma make sure there'll be no ballistics to trace. Or I could beat you down, putting fists in your face, a knife in your gut. Penetrated through your flesh, live my life in the cut, separated from the rest. On your wife in the butt, I'm rated her best. She really love you though. We just dated for sex, it's really nothing. You cats look real silly, stunting, still Philly blunting, acting like some big Willie frontin'. What y'all really wantin'? If it's beef with me, I'ma make you pay for it. Give your mom's grief for free. You want a sad mother? I'm really not a bad brother. Won't toss a burner with a body case, I gotta add another. I'm no killer, but you can make me one. Y'all fake crabs know I'm realer, that's why you hate me, huh? Yeah, I know. Bitch niggas. Me and you will. You know what? I'm here to save the game, grave the lame who craves the fame. You know why? Cause I feel I should, and I'ma do whatever I feel I could. You know where? From here to there, ear to ear, year to year. You know when? When the time is right, I'ma shine so bright it'll blind your sight. Y'all niggas is funny thinking that you nice for real. Even if you was dummy, I'd be twice as ill. When I spit, I overwhelm the mic device with skill. My advice is real, do like ice and chill. Cause nowadays I got guns, unlicensed still. And yes, I still will slice your grill. Y'all don't wanna make me feel I got a license to kill. Cause shit could and it will get trifling to fill. I need a vacation to find a wife from Brazil. Well, maybe not a wife, just a beauty to bone, man. I'm a grown man. And I wanna own land from here, the US to PR, my homeland. But for now, pal, I'm right here though. I'm trying to make moves. I got style like Pinero. No question, see, success for me is destined to be. It's just a matter of time. I can see it now. Niggas being mad at my shine. Trying to pull me down, bring me back to the dark. This is real hip hop, bringing it back to the park. Rapping with heart. Plus the fact that I'm smart. Operation Domination, I'm attacking the chart. What? Yeah, niggas. Me and you will. Woo! Can't fuck with it. Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping out?
All right, so that was a long segment.
The longest segment we've ever done.
I don't know about that.
Since I've been
I don't know about that.
here. We went, I think, 1 hour.
Wasn't quite.
Close.
No, because you started the show without me.
Well, okay, yeah. It's a little under 40-minute segment. I think.
Something like that. We've had interviews that go that way.
Yes, hell yeah.
That's different. Okay, speaking of interviews,
Oh, God.
somebody got interviewed in court, kind of. He had to go sit in court. He didn't even have to go sit in
He
court.
didn't. He showed up.
He showed up, and then he lied and told everybody that he had to, and that he was trapped there, and then promptly left because he's like, I want to be out campaigning with the people. And then, but he's like, but I'm stuck here. And then,
And what drives even more campaign donations? Him sitting angry in the court.
yeah, but then he left. And he's like, it's the amount of bullshit that his people will just gladfully gobble down.
It's insane.
It's hard to
It's
believe.
insane.
All right. So what we're talking about is that Trump has been hit with this civil trial in New York where the judge already ruled that he committed fraud
Yeah.
because he did. And it centers around whether he is lying about the size of his apartment, the value of his properties. Essentially, every time he went to go get a loan, he told everybody that his properties were worth way more than they were worth.
But then tax time.
And then when tax time came, he said, well, they're really not worth very much at all. And his only defense is, well, we put this note on everything and said, don't believe anything you read. But the forms still say you're signing under penalty of perjury, which is just fraud. So the judge was like, we don't even need to do a trial on this. You're not even disputing the facts. Trump's people his lawyers did not dispute the facts of the case. They just said that it was somehow okay to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. This actually got even dumber this morning before it even got in the script. So the judge rules you committed fraud. So then he's in this penalty phase,
Right.
where they have to figure out how much he owes. But in the ruling that he committed fraud, the judge already shut down his businesses, vacated them, and put them in receivership.
Which is really kind of insane.
Yeah, they're going to rip the Trump off of Trump Tower.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
He
can't live there anymore.
I think this is what might do him in.
Well, he's clearly mad about it because he went
very
to court
upset.
and he's like sits there glowering about this. But a series of incredibly stupid events took place with this. I want you to hold on to your seat for this weird, it's not exactly a list time, but it is a weird list of some of the dumbest possible things that can happen. So dumb thing number one is he commits a lot of fraud.
A lot.
On paper, not even like on the phone, but he does it in a way it's where like very visible, where it goes, are you sure? And he goes, yes, fraud. So Tish James files a lawsuit and goes, fraud. And the judge goes, yep, definitely fraud. Okay. Then the question of the trial. Now, Trump has lawyers nominally.
Yeah, okay.
One of them is
I
called
guess they are.
Alina Habba. It sounds like a joke name. Alina Habba? Barely know her. But as you may have noticed, that Trump's legal representation quality has degraded over time. He went from people in like 3-piece suits who looked like they knew what they were doing and could speak eloquently to people who never speak or sound somehow dumber than Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
And so
the suits are not as nice.
No, probably because he doesn't pay them.
Yeah.
So these people are doing weird pro bono work for a guy who claims to be a billionaire, but they lied about it because he committed fraud about it. So
this is not good.
So in their infinite wisdom and brilliance, and I would say lack of staff, one of the questions in the initial paperwork is, do you want a bench trial or a jury trial?
Come on, man. This is I could have filled this one out.
And instead, they checked the box that said bench trial. I don't want no jury trial. I want a bench trial. With a judge that had already sanctioned those lawyers for being bad lawyers.
I mean, I get it's in New York.
And trying dumb arguments. Well, those same lawyers, before they had to check the box, I don't know if Bryan's got the graphic of it, but those same lawyers who had to make the choice about which box to check had a few weeks before that tried some cockamamie shit in court. And the judge was like, that's laughably stupid. Get out of my courtroom. And if you ever do that again, and he fined them like $15,000 every word they spoke or something like that. That they had already been sanctioned. So they're like, yeah, we want that judge who just hit us with those sanctions to rule on the case with no jury whatsoever. She checked the box. Did not stop Trump from going around telling everybody he should be getting a jury trial and threatening. Yeah,
Yes,
that
that box.
in the picture there where it says trial, notice for trial. The choices are trial by jury demand of all issues specified below or attached here too. Or the next box you could check is trial without jury. Which box did Trump's lawyers check?
Trial without jury.
Without jury.
That's insane.
So then he goes and tells everybody he's not getting a fair trial because he wants a jury and they wouldn't give him one, and it's a conspiracy against him. It gets worse.
It does.
So then he's been calling the judge and his clerk a bunch of names.
A lot of names on the,
on
telling
his
the truth.
Twitter. Yeah. So
truth in it.
And every break in court, he runs outside to the cameras. It's the only time he's ever run. He runs outside to the cameras. They won't let me say what I want to say, and everybody, all the reporters are like, didn't you get to, excuse me, I'm talking, like he doesn't even, none of it's real. And so he called the clerk of the court a bunch of names, including what he thinks is the worst name, Democrat, and then published their picture and address.
Yeah.
So the judge was like, that's it. You gone too far. Gag order. Take that shit down. I'm going to throw you in jail. And if you ever say anything like that again, I'm going to put you in jail.
Which he did.
He did take it down.
It came down.
But then he went right out and said all of the things. He just didn't post all of the things. So he continues to threaten the judge, continues to threaten the clerk, and he's threatening the judge who is going to rule on his case, which seems like a very stupid idea.
I mean, this is done for him.
It's very done.
That's over with. It's just are you putting in a bid for any Trump properties?
Yeah, I'll buy the tower. I got $35.
Exactly.
You got $20, so we can go in on it.
Yeah, look.
It's okay. It gets even dumber in how do I even describe this? How did it get dumber? Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to think about a good way to describe how much dumber this got. But he threatened the judge.
Right.
The judge told him not to do it. He claimed that he got hit with a gag order and that he, is having his rights taken away or whatever. And then, you know what? Give me in the break. I'm going to look this up and find a good explanation of this because it's a little confusing.
I mean, even with the gag order there, it's like you're allowed to talk. I get the whole thing because you can't be silencing like the former president. He's been allowed to do that. But what you can't do is
threatening
people and then expect to continue to have the same privileges. And this has been the whole thing with him from Genesis with this guy.
Yes.
It's like, yo, you feel like you can do something and they don't ever come at you initially with it. They just say, hey, you can't do that.
One of the things that he did was he said that his apartment that he lives in was 3 times the size that it is. And the judge answered him like, you're a real estate guy. Of all things you should know is how big the apartment you live in is. Is
he a real estate guy?
That's what he said, though. That's what the judge said to him.
You see it here.
It's on and also, he hasn't paid his lawyers. His lawyers are suing each other over not getting paid. Rudy's broke. They're all doing this. It's like, it's the dumbest possible thing. The dumbest possible thing, but it's still working.
I mean, again, it's hard to say it's working when he's not the president. It's hard to say it's working because the DOJ, even at the fact that the DOJ and then these state cases are happening, that's big. That should this could not. I was worried that a lot of this stuff wasn't going to happen. Thank God these things are going on. He is being held. Again, he's being held account. He's being held to account. What that leads to, let's see. But the system of how it's supposed, when you commit these crimes, right? Even down from January 6th, from those folks who have been prosecuted, that's what's supposed to happen.
That is what's supposed to happen. The thing that he did that made it even dumber was that he claimed that this is all political retribution.
Come on.
You know, and instead of that he committed the crime, right? But at the same time, he's saying that he did the stuff. And this is this contradiction in the reality that his people are perfectly capable of swallowing. And that's why I keep telling you that your hopes are baseless.
You think he wins the 2024 election?
Well, he's winning the primary.
He's gonna, that's unless some, I mean, and
But
crazy
that's
things
what
happen
I'm
in
telling you
politics.
is that 75 million people voted for him before, and it's going to be more this time, just because there's more voters.
Yeah.
And in the midst of all of this, where he says this is politically motivated, it's not politically motivated. He says that the judge gagged him and prevented him from speaking. He didn't prevent him from speaking. He says he was required to be there. He wasn't required to be there and left. Like, all of his people are able to hold all these ideas in their head simultaneously with no problem whatsoever.
And some people who know that he's a problem still say that they'll vote for him. Like, I get that piece as well too. I still think though,
like, I think even Liz Cheney's going to vote for him if he's the nominee.
No way in hell.
She said she'll vote for the Republican nominee.
No way in hell. I don't think that.
Bill Barr said he'd vote for the Republican nominee.
Yeah.
After he told everybody that Trump was a liar and a cheat and did all this stuff. And they're like, well, if he gets the nomination, you're going to vote for him? He's like, I'm going to vote for the Republican no matter what. Like, these people can't be shaken from this.
They can't. But I think we saw that there was enough shaking the last time. And there's only one option. There's only one viable option for the president of the United States.
Joe Biden.
Simple and plain.
Viable is an interesting word to choose there, but
sorry, I didn't mean that on purpose, man.
But yeah,
I mean, like, it's clear as day. Like, I don't care the shortcomings that you could point out about that man. Like, that's easy, whatever, cool. That's whatever. Like, it's clear that, like, based on everything we spoke about earlier, that there's only one. You saw what bills got passed. The only issue that I can look for those first 2 years is that
they didn't go far enough.
He cared too goddamn much about being a man in the Senate.
Yeah.
And then fucking rip that fucking filibuster away.
Yeah.
But also, too, it's like, I almost kind of get that, too, because you know why? Because if you do that, and, like, this is going to get me a hot light, but if you do that, right, and things that I want, right, like vote, and a lot of people want, like, voting rights and things like that, you're fucking with the line, and the line of white people who are going to be like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, he might be trying to, like, when we talk about soft landings with the Fed, I think he might have tried to do what he felt to be a soft landing to win another election.
I think Joe Biden has a better understanding of how far you can push middle and working class white people in the progressive direction without derailing them.
Yeah.
He has a very good feel for this because he has seen the progression over his long career.
Right.
Of, where not white liberals, but where white middle of the road people will tolerate
working class,
progress.
The working,
where they'll tolerate, it's initially
no college, working class.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it there.
And he has a feel for that because he continues to ride that.
Right.
The white working class was like, all right, union's good. Workers should have stuff, even if it means black people get, some rights. We'll tolerate that.
Yeah.
Then it's like, they can have rights, but we need, tough penalties on crime and make access to the safety net that got us in our position nearly impossible for them. And Joe Biden is out there like, yes, more penalties for crime and double the sentence for crack and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the white people were like, maybe we might have gone a little farther than we should. And we want to kind of level the playing field a little bit. And Joe Biden is right there. And he's like, yeah, you know what? Everybody, because all of those white people now have mixed children.
Yeah.
And they start to see the disparity as it affects their families. And so they start to move. he has always been gently pulling these folks along towards the future. And I think that is the heart and soul of the modern Democrat Party. The Democrats have understood that it's like, Barack Obama was never had problems with gay marriage. He was always pro marriage equality.
No way
but he couldn't say that.
No way in hell.
And then he evolved right around the time the rest of the country finally caught up to where he was. Bill Jeff was always in favor of marriage equality. He had to wait for the rest of the country to catch up to it. The leaders of the Democratic Party have always been way more progressive than they let on because they have to wait for the voters to catch up to them. And there's nobody who understands that better than Joe Biden. And he might be able to lead the rest of them, but I don't know. But your assessment of you got to find out where the white people are willing to go is probably the most accurate political statement I've ever heard.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Like, I don't like it. Trust me.
It's bullshit.
It sucks, man. Like, I'm sitting there like, but I'm like, he seems to like, he knows where that line is.
And he can toe it. He can pull it. I don't mean toe it like just touch it. I mean toe like to pull.
Pull, yes.
He can move the line. He can keep moving the goalpost just a little bit further towards, he bends that arc of history just a little bit more towards justice. Every couple of years, he's like, a little more.
And he knows the states he needs to win. What do you want to go do in Michigan? He knows that. He knows, like,
because he was there when it was founded.
He knows that's fair. He knows the maps, man. And there's 6 states he needs to win.
If he knows anything about maps, he knows that Toledo really belongs to Michigan. We had a whole war about that.
Careful.
Won the UP in it. All right. Should we take a break before we do a TES talk?
I don't even have a TES talk.
You don't even have a TES talk?
It's a rough week.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then let's take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break.
And then we'll come back with some petty
pettiness
bullshit, and maybe some sports. I don't know if we can call what we're watching sports.
This is bad.
This is really bad.
Watching mayhem
sucks. All right, we're gonna take a break.
All state.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Man You Ill album snippets produced by Firstborn.
Hey yo, my words stalk the beat like a widow walk the street, dark discreet. I could start to creep while you sleep, spark the heat, rip apart your meat. I've always felt sour, you retards is sweet. Cowards out there buying courage like hearts is cheap. I'm a hip-hop Picasso, my art's unique. Painting pictures with my tongue, flaming scriptures are sung. This world is crazy, all I'm saying, better get you a gun. We got the right to bear arms, light and flare charms. Who gives a fuck? It's like nobody care but moms. Fuck songs, I write prophecy, the mic profits me. Y'all can't compare, y'all don't even write logically. And me, I give you what's all in my heart. Raw and I'm smart, without me the game is falling apart.
Now I'm only falling apart. Only falling apart. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around.
Yeah, I know. There's times when I feel the same. What could you do but live your life, learn to deal with pain? Try to keep from going crazy. I feel I'm sane and smart enough to play stupid to conceal my brain. Man, you will's the name. Feel the flame. I've come to kill the lame and fulfill the game.
Man You Ill album snippets produced
That's why we're just
by
doing simple things, pointing
Firstborn.
out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot belly goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
My God.
It's worse than Monster Energy. Watching Fox News when you work out.
Welcome back
Only
to
worse
Chip Chat
combination.
here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping?
We're watching. Well, our favorite thing on this show is watching Tez watch Alex Jones.
That one was really like, it was like a sweet song.
It was. It's like
Yeah.
like if Alex Jones was the Lumineers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Remember I said that the Trump trial thing got even dumber today?
Yes.
I went and looked it up during the break just to make sure I had this right.
Right.
His lawyers actually filed a motion in court saying that he can't face trial for the January 6th stuff because he already beat the impeachment on it, as if it was a double jeopardy thing.
But what?
Because he was acquitted by the duly elected Senate. That's what they said in the actual.
Play Mitch McConnell saying that this isn't a criminal trial.
He said we're not going to impeach him, but it could still be decided in the courts, regardless of Mitch's statements or otherwise. Because
Mitch seems back on it too. If you notice, he seems
Yeah.
like I don't know what HGH
I don't know what
he got.
they reset his motherboard.
Yeah, he was on it the other day. I was like, oh,
Yeah, he was. They put more cocaine in him, I guess. But like Trump's lawyers actually filed a motion
That's
in
insane.
court against in the Jack Smith cases and the January 6th thing to say he'd already been acquitted of this thing and thus couldn't be charged with it again.
No, sir.
Double jeopardy is real. You can't
It
be
is.
charged with the same crime after you've been committed or acquitted. He has not been acquitted in a court of law. Impeachment is technically a political act. It's for high crimes and misdemeanors, but that could include literally anything. It's not defined.
Yeah.
If they decide that wearing a blue suit on a Tuesday is so egregious that you got to go, and 67 senators agree, guess what? You got to go. It doesn't matter whether there's but he actually filed this in court.
Trump think he OJ?
How many people are going to get disbarred working for this man?
Yo, there might be a short, like, did they say there's a shortage of nurses?
There's going to be a shortage of lawyers after Trump's done disbarring all of them.
Everybody.
What would it be like if Johnny Cochran was still alive to like weigh in on this shit?
I mean, first of all, he would be the news networks. He would just be.
He'd be on TV 24 hours a day.
They would never.
100%.
He would never be on.
MSNBC would just give him a show.
Yeah, he would always be on TV.
It would just be the Johnny Cochran show.
Yeah, simple and plain. But I mean,
If the cheeseburger don't fit, you must have.
There were years it always fits. Never fit. It always fits. What do you mean it doesn't fit? The cheeseburger.
What would Johnny Cochran say about Trump's legal defense?
Defense? Maybe they're working with us. Maybe they're trying to put him away. That's what I'm starting to think. They're so bad.
They're so bad that they're like they're plants.
Yes, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I thought lawyers
Don't say that out loud. Now that's going to pop up on Fox. You know they all watch this show. Look at what I did by giving them the Trump speaker idea. Fucking Hannity is going to be out there tomorrow talking about, I bet you these aren't even real lawyers. I bet the DOJ put them in there, and now they're just pretending to be Trump's lawyers. They're all just secret agents of the FBI. Defund the... Thanks, Tez.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Your innovative comedy has ruined this country yet again.
I'm just wondering because it doesn't. When I listen to these guys talking, the motions that they file, they seem to not know the law,
right?
Which is very weird.
So this isn't exactly the same thing, but it is a little bit parallel. And I'm skipping ahead a little bit in the script, but I want to talk about a thing where it is maybe that. Okay, sports has a problem where people don't trust referees and officials. Everybody says this every time they lose. Oh, it's fixed, right?
Yeah.
You know, I say this constantly.
Yeah.
But there was an instance over the weekend involving a team I hate.
Oh, you're at the VAR.
And the officials got it wrong. Like really wrong, and realized they got it wrong, but couldn't stop it. And it's the sort of like Seattle, Green Bay with the replacement refs, you know, pass interference bullshit again.
Yeah.
But it's that egregious. And it strikes me as sort of similar to what you're saying, where like the Liverpool fans think that the league is out to get them or FIFA's out to get them or whatever. And here now they've got this really like, and so like maybe you know, the Trump people are going to start saying this thing too. And then they're going to find all these instances of like not checking the right box. You're like, see, she's a plant. she's not really my lawyer. Been replacing. I mean, I bet Bannon's the first one to say it. And then it'll
give a kick point. Let's go. Kick point, please.
But all right. So here I want to see, I don't know, Brian, if you can turn on the audio.
Wait, okay.
Just get a tight angle.
Here's the setup.
Give me 2D line ready for as well for frame
right,
2.
so
that's fine.
Frame 2 there.
Perfect.
Got the time on this.
2D line on left boot.
Yep. Switch angle. I think it might be this angle better. I'll give this angle.
You organise, you don't.
2D line on the boot.
2D line on the boot.
Yep. Okay.
And said that they were offsides.
So
but he was
2D line
very
on the boot.
definitely
Check complete. Check complete. It's fine. Perfect.
Yep. So if you're listening,
thank you, mate.
give their accent.
Wait. On-field decision was
We're going
offside.
to turn up the audio. We're going to play this again for you.
You happy with this?
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Are you happy with this?
Offside goal. Yeah.
Here.
That's
Now
what
translate
it does.
what they're saying into English.
What?
On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this image? Yes, onside. The image we gave you is onside.
Left back. He's played. He's gone offside.
Delay. Ollie's saying to delay. Ollie's saying to delay.
Pardon?
Ollie's calling in to say delay the game. To the decision is offside.
Listen.
After they already disallowed the goal.
Ollie's saying to delay. Ollie's saying to delay.
Ollie?
Let everybody see what's going on. And even the Americans are going to be
Delay the game. Delay the
like
stop it.
It's about
Start the game.
Yeah, they've played.
Can't do anything. I can't do anything. I can't do anything.
You organise, you don't.
Yep. 2D line on the boot.
2D line on the boot.
Yep.
So what you're seeing here is the referees using the VAR.
So 2D line on the boot.
And stop. Check complete. Check complete. It's fine. Perfect.
Off.
They say
Okay.
off.
Wait. On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
Are you happy with this?
Offside goal. Yeah. That's what it does.
What?
On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this image?
It almost
Yes, onside. The image is given is onside.
So they,
He's played. He's gone
the
offside.
confusion here is that the referee on the
Delay.
field doesn't remember.
Ollie's saying to delay. Ollie's saying to delay.
And so
Pardon?
they're all thinking they got this
Ollie's
right.
calling in to say delay the
And
game.
he's like, yeah, all right, we made the right decision.
The
Carry on.
decision is offside.
But the VAR guys are realizing, no, you called it offside.
Right.
But it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't because they're assuming that he called it as a goal. On
He thinks he called it a goal. Bad communication.
Yes.
So, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. The refs got this wrong. And, you know, what do you do about it? And the Liverpool people want to replay the match. And
I mean, that one.
I think that might be the right thing to do.
It might be the right thing to do. I don't know if they do it because I think then you kind of
set a bad precedent.
Yeah, because
this is why they don't want replay in baseball.
Yeah, I
they
mean,
don't want to question the umpire.
But also too, where I always think about this now is the introduction of gambling, and not here, and obviously,
they've been
having it there. But I think that in the American sports, where this shit's gonna get really tricky, like it's already
people are
there.
gonna die as a result of these refs making these decisions. Refs are gonna die.
Yeah,
I mean that's happened in other countries where referees have made a call that cost somebody millions of dollars, made a wrong call that cost somebody millions of dollars, and they get them killed.
From Beltway Radio and beyond.
Hey, one time when things got to go right. I just want to let everyone know the Darren England and Dan Cook have been replaced in the Premier League fixtures as referees.
So they got fired.
So in resulting of the disallowed goal. So in a sense, they right now, I believe, suspended, but I would say yes, maybe possibly fired. So
well, they get busted down to like Champions League. So they'll be reffing Everton games next year.
Yeah, good luck. No, I mean, yeah, I guess the thing is, right, the technology is supposed to assist, right? Isn't that how we look at it?
Yeah, but it's also supposed to make sure that you get the right call.
And that's it. And I think sometimes
and they had this so dead to right, and they got
my thing is that
the communication was bad.
Even then, once you realize it's wrong, like in the game, you still, while the game is happening, you still have the chance to make that shit right.
They could have.
Now that could be,
but by rule, they can't like stop after a play has continued. They can't, they've already, inbounded the ball.
Is there a governing body now that needs to be over all of the technology that then makes the fight? Are we going to have?
I mean, FIFA's there.
Yeah, I mean, are we? But I've never heard of like
still human error is the problem.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of is the coin flip from so many years ago in the NFL where the call was misunderstood.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And as a result, they changed the way that they do the coin flip, where the ref now shows the coin and he says, instead of call it in the air, he says, this is the head side, this is the tail side. What's your call? They say the thing. He goes, the call is tail. There's a lot of like
confirmation of what are we doing? What are we doing here?
It's a little like NASA, where NASA, like when you do something, you go, all right, all set, gonna do this, confirm this, confirm that, confirm yes, okay, you're good to go. This, whatever. Like there's a lot of back and forth, call and response, whatever you want to call it. That in this case, you've got a bunch of chattering Brits who are unintelligible, maybe even apparently to each other.
No one knew what was going on.
They couldn't understand through their accents. And they're like, yeah, all right, good show, lads. And then the other one's like, no, it's right. You happy with that?
Exactly.
It's like, yeah. And it's like, no, idiots, you need to use like clear, defined words. Goal, no goal. Yeah. We're confirming. You said no goal. You called it no goal on the field. We're confirming. We're overturning your rule. It is a goal. That's how it should have been. But so they just got to get the language right. The NFL fixed this already. The NFL is perfect. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You just do it like that. Everything should work the way the NFL does.
Or what's really perfect is tennis.
Where they go to the
yes,
and they go where the shadow is or whatever.
Somehow they got that.
They get it right.
They get it
and
right.
Nobody argues.
No one argues.
There's no McEnroe smashing.
And everybody's
rackets.
clapping. And
there's some mild arguments here and there.
I guess that's fair. Not as many.
It's tennis. Everything's mild. But like this is so bad.
Weed smoke. U.S. Open.
Yeah, right. What do you mean? They're in Brooklyn or Flatbush, Flatbush, Queens. God damn it. They're smoking Arthur Ashe Stadium. I'm shocked.
Ashe.
Right.
What are you doing?
It's so funny.
Come on.
Get your bell for that. It's so good.
Of course.
This call by the refs in this game was so egregious that even I think Liverpool
that's kind of crazy.
Is right.
Yeah.
And I don't think Liverpool should exist. Like, I hate them. And I'm like, they got a wrong.
Okay, who's worse, Liverpool or Chelsea?
Well, I don't care that much about Chelsea because they're not across the park from us. But also, like, yeah. Do you hate Chelsea more than I hate Liverpool?
That's no way. No. Tottenham is the only one.
You hate Spurs as much as I hate Liverpool?
Yes.
Do you think that in this case Spurs was a beneficiary of this bad call?
It's terrible.
And you think that they should this is
terrible.
This particular instance is the worst possible situation for you and me.
Yes.
Because I have to take up for Liverpool and you have to like actively Well, no, it's easy for you. You can say Spurs
Yeah,
fucking stole a game.
Yeah, stole it. It doesn't
Yeah,
count.
they paid the refs.
Exactly. And then
You already assumed they paid the refs.
yeah, of course. And we already took it. Can't believe we drew to them. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. Son is just a menace.
He's a menace. He's great.
He's the crazy. Oh,
Harry Kane was holding him back for all those years, apparently.
He's insane. Oh, that's not going to be fun.
All right. So speaking of things that are very petty, which obviously sports hatred is pretty petty.
That's the pettiest you can get.
It is, unless we're talking about Ohio, in which case, fuck them. We talked about dumb Kevin got evicted.
Yeah.
Several other people got evicted as a result.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that people probably don't know is that most of the senators and almost all of Congress,
yes,
does not have offices in the Capitol.
There's very limited offices in the Capitol.
It's pretty small in terms of office space. It's got a lot of like open hallways and
rooms.
Yeah, and hearing rooms and,
like that,
but even a lot of the hearing rooms are in the other buildings that are so like what you think of as the Capitol is not, when you see it on TV, it's not really the Capitol. It's mostly like, the Hart Building or whatever, or Longworth, Rayburn, or Russell. Okay. Yeah. These are all like congressional office buildings that are next to the Capitol. But a few people have offices in the Capitol themselves.
Yeah.
The Speaker obviously has an office there. The Minority Leader has an office. The leadership have offices there. And there are also these offices that are known as hideaway offices. They're not official. They don't really exist on paper. You can't find them on a map.
Luckily.
The architect of the Capitol, who's like the facility manager of the Capitol, they know where they are, where they're at. They give them designations like internally amongst themselves so they can service them, but they're not listed. And the tradition is that when you're in leadership, either in the minority or like a former speaker or whatever, you get to keep an office nearby the floor so you don't got to schlep all the way back to Longworth or whatever. And like for a couple hundred years, this has been kind of no problem.
Yeah.
Of note, Nancy Pelosi let Denny Hastert keep his office, his hideaway office, for a decade, and he was a child molester and a wrestling coach, much like Jim Jordan, on both accounts. So, allegedly,
I was waiting for it. There you go.
So, in any case, when dumb Kevin got evicted and Patrick McHenry takes control, one of the weird and petty things he does is
he had like first order of business shit to do.
Evicted Nancy Pelosi out of her hideaway office while she was at a funeral.
Yeah.
She was in San Francisco mourning the death of her dear friend and trailblazer Dianne Feinstein, who died at 90 in office.
Yeah.
And Patrick McHenry was
on the
like
floor the day before.
Yeah, voted the day before.
The day before, yeah.
Patrick McHenry was like, yo, that's two women from San Francisco I hate. How can I punish both of them? Taking away Nancy's office. He's like, she better get her shit out of there. I'm changing the locks.
He confirmed. He said he was, recanted.
They did it.
Yeah.
Because the speaker gets to order that stuff around, even if he's a pro tem speaker. But then he went even further and he evicted Steny Hoyer out of his office. And he's still in Congress. He's still in leadership. Like, there's no reason to. And Republicans sort of generally like Steny.
Yeah.
He's made a career of bridging the gap.
That's
He's been a strong Democrat. He's from nearby us in Maryland. He's a good guy by all accounts, but he's also one of these sort of glad handing work across the aisle, like, come on, man, help me out, kind of guys. And he gets a lot done that way.
You thought he was going to be speaking for a long time.
Yeah, and then he decided he didn't want the job because he was like, yo, this shit's hard. And he can't fundraise like Nancy.
No, yeah. That's
so
and everybody else realized
everybody knew that too. So yeah, McHenry like evicts the two. This is petty on top of petty. Like, why are we doing this? Don't look at the score.
No, that's a crazy stat line from Justin Fields. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, that's DJ Moore. DJ Moore was
DJ
all
like
that.
Touchdown today.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, yep.
Anyways,
getting massacred again.
Yeah.
Remember, Khalil Mack's not even on the Bears anymore, and we're still getting sacked.
This team,
we're bad.
Sad.
We're gonna get relegated.
Oh God.
We have to go play in the MEAC.
Might get smoked there.
That's Jacksonville State in the MEAC.
Yeah, shame.
Where Rich Rod is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him. Okay. Let's move on to a story that Bryan hates. It's a victory for Metro. Now, since I was a kid, and even before that, the Metro has been promised as a way to get to Dulles.
Yeah, very shortly, like after.
Like they were like, oh, we're going to make a Metro. And people were like, can you get us to Dulles?
Always in the plans.
Right, because Dulles is in North Dakota. It's so far away that calling it an airport that serves the Washington, D.C. area is ridiculous.
The first time I had to fly out of Dulles, and I understood it as I was like, where is this?
If you want to hurt the feelings of somebody from the DC area, ask them to pick you up in Dulles.
I'm flying out of there in a few weeks.
The only reason to fly out of Dulles, the only reason Dulles exists is for the big planes, for the jumbo jets.
Yeah, I'm going across the country, and that's where
right. You need a 747 or A380 or whatever.
Yeah. Dreamliners ain't coming out of DCA.
Right, they can't.
They can't fly out.
They can't. But now even the little RJs are flying out of Dulles. Everything flies out of Dulles, and so people regard it as, oh well, DC has 3 airports. There's National, Dulles, and BWI. I live in a county that borders where Dulles is. Dulles is on the edge of Fairfax and Loudoun.
It's still what?
It's
at least
still
25, 30?
It's still maybe a little bit faster for me to fly out of BWI. That's how far away it is.
That's crazy.
And the traffic sucks. So nobody wants to go to Dulles. And not only that, Dulles sucks because the terminals aren't connected to each other. You have to take these little
the tram.
Yeah, the mobile lounge, I think is officially what it's called. Truckee. Yeah, the shark trucks. They're ridiculous and they smell terrible like diesel fuel because they're just sucking in outside air from the jet engines.
It's probably not good for you anytime.
It's terrible. They don't even have filters. They're awful. So all of that is the case. Finally, Metro got out to Dulles. Yeah. It's been a year now. What's the stat line on this story?
How many people did we get? It's the stat line of how many people were served, right?
How many people have used the Metro to go to Dulles since it opened last fall?
1 million people.
1 million people.
I'm one of them.
You've ridden to Dulles?
The last time I came back from San Francisco, I took a red eye and I came in right in maybe 4:30. And it was opening up at 5. It was a funny story because all the workers, I got there right before it opened. And apparently this lady who's the Metro at that time, she's not a fan favorite. Apparently she opens the gates at the very, at 5 o'clock or whatever the time is.
To allow people to get onto the platform?
Yeah, and the train, you might have two, I ran up there and got on the train. It was 2 minutes. But people
packed.
People were cursing, and because these are people who are leaving, and
they're leaving their shift at the airport. They want to go home.
Yeah, one dude said some very colorful language that had some suggestive things that might not be happening to why she was so upset, and he was screaming it out loud to her there. She just had her headphones on doing it, and then eventually it was. But I got on. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was going to be.
And you didn't have to ride the broken trains.
I did not at that time.
Although now the older unbroken trains are breaking and causing the other trains.
Brakes are falling off. And now other trains are rolling
literally
off.
Beat the brakes off these trains.
Exactly.
They had to run them for so much longer than they were meant to because their new ones didn't work. That they were like, yo, put the old 3000s back into service. Those workhorses from 1977. And they're like, well, shit, fuck that. And their brakes fell off. I mean, yeah, a million people have ridden the Metro from Dulles. Bryan hates the Metro. So he's mad that this is happening. Because some of them were children.
Okay, I'm not mad that 1 million people are taking the Metro. Keep in mind, what I'm mad is those people are, let's say, I don't think people going to Dulles aren't paying their fare. I think I think those people who are
whoa. So the people who are riding the Blue Line to Addison Road are not paying their fare, But the people who are riding the Silver Line through Fairfax and Loudoun County to Dulles are definitely paying.
I don't know. Have you seen them,
Brian?
I'm saying before I get to Dulles.
Are you running for Congress in Louisiana?
I probably am. But anyway, the whole point is like, shoot, we don't know if they're paying or not.
Brian Scalise, everybody. Wow.
But let's celebrate this 1 millionth customer anyway. So let's give her
Brian is going to be, he's Clayton Bigsby. That's
fine people to Fairfax.
Yeah. They can pay their
They're
fares.
jumping over the goddamn turnstiles too with their bags. All right.
Yeah,
exactly.
They toss their carry-on over,
Exactly.
and then they walk through the
Smash.
weird plexiglass gate.
Exactly.
And they go, it's fine.
Wasn't the fucking one of the? It wasn't even one of the stations that they said they were going to add the new.
Well, at least they're riding the Silver Line, not the White Line.
I know. Close enough. It's close enough.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
All right. Finally.
Yes.
This network has existed now in its current form for almost a year. We're coming up on roughly a year of Beltway Radio very soon. We are going to have a celebration for that. So stay tuned if you want to be invited to the Not Rippies, I guess. I don't even know what we're going to call it. We haven't figured that part out yet. We have a meeting on Monday.
Okay.
Which means I'm going to write some stuff tomorrow. I'm going to run it by the guys. They're going to tell me I'm crazy. And then they're going to come up with a much better idea. Because I don't actually do anything here. But what our former CEO, who has the unfortunate name of Trump.
Yeah.
He didn't choose that when the thing happened.
Yeah.
He's had that longer than that guy. He moved to Florida.
He did.
He left us entirely and he moved to Florida to retire as one does.
Most do.
At his age.
Yeah.
He's up there. He's look, the man has earned it. He worked hard.
Yeah.
He built this thing from the ground up.
Yeah.
I've almost ruined it. Trying. And he's an old man.
Yeah.
Let him go enjoy his time in Florida. And we thought he was just doing that until a story popped up in the AP that seems to be about our former boss.
Damn it.
Yeah, you want to read this one?
Yeah, federal authorities have arrested a 77-year-old man for allegedly buying more than $1,800 in erectile dysfunction drugs without a prescription and intending to sell them in a massive Central Florida retirement community, the Villages and elsewhere. This happens over and over. Just pick a different drug.
Villages.
The Villages is
a
that big
crime-ridden,
yes,
infested place full of seniors who are fucking each other left and right.
It's well known.
Yeah, but Fox News is like, oh, the dangerous Seattle and crime-ridden. And seems like the Villages, which always votes Republican.
Yeah, the man who we suspect was our former boss was arrested last month in the Villages, where he lives alongside nearly 80,000 full-time residents.
Yep,
that's a good customer.
That's a lot. Yeah,
and which was featured in the 2020 documentary "Some Kind of Heaven." Haven't got to that.
$1,800 worth of Viagra. How much Viagra is that? I don't know what they.
Depends. You got Obamacare now.
I mean, let's say they're $1 a pill. Like
Yeah.
that's not that many.
It's not.
There got to be. I don't know, Brian. How expensive is Viagra?
Not that expensive.
Is it less than $1 a pill?
I would say maybe $1.50, maybe $2.
$2 a pill?
Probably.
Oh, on the open market. I'm talking about like if you've got insurance or whatever.
Yeah, we have that probably.
Okay. I don't know. It's almost as if you have the internet and could like look that up.
So yeah.
What do we have a producer for?
Well, he's usually,
I'm just here to
he's
push
usually
buttons.
off at 11. Yeah.
Right. I would figure he would know because he knows things about things, but
there's no thing.
All right. So our former boss was busted for selling.
It's a misdemeanor charge.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll get off.
There you go.
He won't do any hard time. It'll be a lifted sentence. Yeah. He'll go out standing up.
Maybe he'll
Actually,
maybe he'll get off with hard labor.
Here's the thing, like, Here it is. So the authentic Viagra is $91 per pill.
$91 per pill?
Per pill. That's
on the black market or like
no, this is the
blue market.
CVS?
Yes. But if you buy the generic version, it'll be $3.50 a pill.
So he didn't buy even that many.
Yeah, it's a misdemeanor.
So before you got here, this show was briefly sponsored by generic
Blue
Viagra.
Chew.
Yeah, Blue Chew.
They're everywhere now.
Yeah, well, we got $100 from them or something once.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a lot cheaper than that. So maybe that's what he bought. I don't know.
That feels like what do you call it? So
Trump was still in charge when we got that sponsorship. The dots are connecting. Look, there's a lot of clues here. 77-year-old man in Florida, with erectile dysfunction, selling pills to 80,000 old people. It does all add up.
He didn't have enough pills.
Congratulations also to him and TJ on their 100th episode of whatever that show's called. Dudes Talking Shit is what it's called.
Dudes Talking Shit.
It's mostly TJ talking a lot of crazy shit and Trump trying not to get thrown off the internet. But
hey,
it's a pretty good show. You should watch it.
Gotta get the clicks.
They get apparently 1,800 clicks.
1,800.
What's he doing with those clicks?
Trying to lift up some.
I'm just click.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, you hear that music, which means we've come to the end of the show. We want to say thanks to our radio partners.
Early tonight.
MSNBC, CNN, Home Shopping Network, all those guys. Thanks to NOTF for keeping us on for another week. Thanks to our digital media meatball, Isaac Elam. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, CopleyMedia.com. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Beltway Radio for making us sound as smooth as Kevin McCarthy's career. All right, where can everybody get you on the socials?
You can find me where links don't work anymore on X,
Twitter,
at DC Cortez. You can find me on Blue Sky at DC Cortez, being a flaming liberal. You can find me on Instagram, Meta Company.
Yeah,
at
Threads.
No, I'm not on Threads.
You are. You don't know it though. God, I tagged you a couple of times. Christ. Yeah, it's happening. All right, you can find me and the show on Twitter at ChipChatRR. Is that still right? Yep. Okay.
Still correct.
You can find us on Facebook or Instagram and Threads at RipChipChat. You can find us, of course, every Thursday at 9:30 here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm Chip. That's Tez. That's Bryan. Trump's in Florida. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps!